שמש דקה ומוות בכנפיה.
Then Boaz turned to Ruth and said, "Listen, my daughter." It's not just listen by the way, but it is pay attention, understand what I am going to tell you. And the expression, my daughter, shows that here a fatherly friend turns towards a young lady. He's aware of the dangers in the field, and he's concerned about Ruth's physical safety. It is an elderly man who turns to a quite young lady, and it is one of the first verses here where this age difference between Boaz and Ruth finds its expression. I like to turn your attention to that, and maybe you want to read the whole scroll of Ruth, just asking now, what is the age difference between the two? A young lad wouldn't say to another young lady, my daughter. There must be an age difference, and it is something that occupies biblical scholars throughout the centuries, even millennia, guessing how much older Boaz was than Ruth. One German theologian says it might have been about 15 years. I want to commend this question to you. We'll keep it in mind. Now Boaz says to Ruth, my daughter, pay attention, understand, do not go to glean in another field. Do not leave from here. A medieval biblical exegete, a Jew, a rabbi, says or hears at once, do not go and have other gods who provide for you, whom you pay attention to, whom you obey to. When Boaz tells Ruth not to glean in other fields, he actually is informing her that there is an exclusivity and an absolute exclusivity. There's either me or them. And some exegetes actually connect that with the Song of Moses, where Moses sings, "The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. This is my God, exclusively. And I will praise Him, my Father's God, and I will exalt Him." Boaz continues and says to Ruth, "But keep close to my young women, to the ladies who work for me." And Jewish tradition says then at once, oh, they are the righteous ones, and says that here Boaz tells Ruth not to go with anybody but with righteous people. Look with whom you are in company with. Associate yourselves with those people who go the way you want to go. Now this exclusiveness, this absolute claim, and connected with specific instructions for behavior, this is typical for the God of Israel. And it's anti the world we live on. We would like to go everywhere, to try everything, and then to decide ourselves. The God of Israel will say, it's me or the others. And if you go with me, you will obey to what I have to say. Boaz says to Ruth, let your eyes be on the field that they are reaping and go after them. What he says there is, I will take care for you. If you obey and stick to my people, then I will guarantee your existence and your well-being. So this claim to exclusivity is always connected with a promise to look after you. Have I not told the young men not to touch you? This is a very strong affirmation that Boaz says, I've commanded them, I've instructed them, I've told them not to touch you. And we have to see that in the framework of the story of the time of the judges, where a woman wasn't worth a lot, and sometimes brutally realistic statements go throughout this time where husbands, wives, men, women, masters, slaves do not treat each other very well. So what Boaz is offering to Ruth is protection. And then he goes even further. He says, when you are thirsty, go to the vessels and drink what the young men have drawn. Water comes from a well, comes from a fountain. It's here in the desert, it's a well normally. And this scenario that a couple meets next to a well is fairly common in biblical literature, in a biblical situation. And the rabbis or rabbinic interpreters say, oh, pay attention. A couple at a well, that's like Isaac, that's like Jacob, that's like Moses. Betrothals and a marriage is not far away.